Shout out Jeff Austin and Lance Young, my agents. That year, it was me, Steph Curry, Sam Young, Wes Matthews, and Lester Hudson. We were all the new college players that signed the Octagon. We worked out in Bethesda. Remember, Steph Curry was my roommate for 2 months.
Damn, wow.
Yeah, so that's how, like, it's funny how all this stuff happens. Me and Steph was roommates. Like, he was a basic, like a regular
dude.
Regular dude, bro. Like, he had his girl, Aisha was there with him. She stayed with him majority of the time. And, like, we had workouts every day. We would have to go to weightlifting in the morning. Then we would train in the afternoon. And the funny part was, Steph Curry never trained with anybody else. All his workouts for us, he had his own joints.
Really? He set it up that way?
I guess the agency was like, look, we don't want him. They knew that Steph was probably gonna be that boy.
Yeah.
So like we didn't train with him. It was like me, Wes Matthews would train together. Me, Lester Hudson would train together. Me, Sam Young. It was never with Steph.
Yeah.
You see, I see why he needed more reps. He's gonna be that guy. So training with Steph, we created a bond. Like we had a relationship. Good friend. Like I'm here and tell you, I talk to Steph every day. But like if me and Steph see each other, it's like, yo, Jack, what's good, bro? Blah blah blah. Right. So I signed the Octagon. I get invited to the Chicago pre-draft camp. When you get invited to Chicago pre-draft, these are the top 60 players that the NBA thinks are going to get drafted. So they invite the top 60 players.
Right.
So like if you go to that, you're majority of the time you're going to get drafted because back then pre-draft was only like 60 guys. That was it.
Yeah.
These are the guys that were probably going to get drafted. But back then in pre-draft, you never did no scrimmaging. It was only drill work. It was only like shooting,
like combine stuff.
Yeah. Drill, combine, vertical, defensive slide, like the 3/4 court sprint.
Yeah.
So I had the fastest time in the slide, the agility test. You go sprint, slide, backpedal, slide, sprint, slide, backpedal. I had the fastest time in that. I was like number 1. So I'm like, okay, like I'm quick. So they knew I was a quick guy, whatever. So I go to pre-draft camp. I never had a chance to like play foul. I shot the ball well, obviously. So I come back, my agent's like, yo, we got like 17 workouts. I had worked out for like 15, 16 teams. Yeah. Everywhere. I worked out for the Spurs twice, which is the team that drafted me. My last workout was the New York Knicks. And it was me and Drew Holiday. Mind you, the Knicks brought me in because I was creating some buzz around the teams. Like, yo, this kid McClinton kind of nice. Like, bring him in because Knicks had their coach back then was
what year was this?
This is 2009. What's the running gun guy from Phoenix?
D'Antoni.
D'Antoni was their coach.
I'm a Knicks fan.
Yeah, so the running gun, like they wanted a combo. Yeah. They were trying to get Steph Curry. He had 2 picks. I think they had like the 3rd pick and like the 3rd and 29th.
No, we were right
pick.
behind. We got robbed. Steph Curry was the pick right before us. So wherever Golden State, I think they were 8. We were 9.
Exactly. So that's what happened. So that's the story. So draft night comes, and like you do a physical, you do all these things, and it's like they do. Any injuries, they do mental tests, they ask you mad questions. Like they know everything about you.
Yeah.
So obviously I passed through the physicals. My senior year, I had a wrist injury that I never got surgery on. I didn't have to get surgery. I was in a cast for like, I think 7 to 8 weeks. Yeah. And like I was shooting, I forgot to tell you the story, let me rewind and tell you the story. My junior year, I had a cast for like the whole summer. But I was still working out. So when you have a cast on, it's only your fingers that you can only like pretty much grip the ball like this because the cast is the cast is bulky. So the cast is like out to here, like out like this far, and I can barely grip the ball. So mind you, when you have a cast on, your elbow placement has to be perfect because you don't really have that grip on the. So that year in the summertime, my form changed because I really had to get my elbow in, and I really had to focus on having my fingertips on the ball and have my hands straight. After that 6 weeks of taking the cast off, my form was immaculate because when I was shooting,
it was always
like this because I had the cast. I couldn't move nothing. Yeah. So when I started shooting, like my joint was like perfect.
Yeah.
So I would say like to kids, if you get a cast on your left hand, keep shooting because when you get, I was even thinking about coming up with a shooting machine that was similar to a cast because when I took that cast off, my because a lot of times guys aren't good shooters because their guide hand is either in front of the ball, they got their thumb on the ball, they gripping it weird, but that cast allowed me to not grip the ball, and I just had to hold it here, so my guide hand was perfect. Small story, but anyway, drafted. Day of the draft comes, and I remember like yesterday, like I could have went to the draft, You know, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be a first round pick. I ain't about to go in the draft and like walk on stage. I'm gonna, you know. So I'm like, I'm cool. I'm gonna stay at the crib with my family.
Yeah.
And I remember the day of the draft, my coach called me like, yo, Jack, congratulations. I just got a call from, you know, the NBA and some scouts in the scouting service. They said the Knicks are gonna take you at 29 because they want to get a combo guard. Because they wanted Steph at the early pick. They're like, look, if they don't get Steph with their early pick, if they can't get Steph, they're going to get him at 29. Whatever happened, the draft comes on. I remember the song was fabulous. It's like, it's my time. So I'm like, oh, yeah, it's my time. Like, remember, my whole thing is timing, right? That's my whole.
Like, oh,
and that was a song. Like, this shit is happening. The coach called me and said, I'm going to the Knicks first round. Call all the homies like, yo, we going to New York. You know, I love fashion. I'm about to be a millionaire. We on.
Yeah.
So draft comes on, first pick, second pick, third pick, fourth pick, fifth pick, or whatever. The Knicks draft Jordan Hill.
I remember that draft specifically. I did remember the rumors that we were gonna get you, and I was like,
Oh, really?
Jack McClinton at 29 at the end. 'Cause I was big into Sports Track
okay,
and
got
all
it.
that, all those websites
Right.
and stuff like that. And I remember being 19 years old. I'm like, all right, we're gonna get Steph, and we're gonna get Jack.
Right.
Jack is gonna come off the bench, give us that second unit scoring.
Right.
Steph is gonna come in, clean it up, and be like, yo, Jack, clean that shit up
Right,
for all
right,
of us.
right.
I remember being so mad about that Jordan Hill pick.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care who we get to say that. So.
Right. So when they got Jordan Hill, I'm like, oh shit. Like, they didn't get Steph Curry. So like Steph Curry is not dropping to 29.
Yeah.
Like, so then the Warriors got him.
No, they got him right before. The
Oh,
pick right
the
there.
Warriors drafted him before.
They got him 8. We had,
Oh,
we
you had
got
9. You had 9.
We had 9.
Okay, yeah. Steph Curry was drafted before, so I'm like, oh.
That was a crazy pick because wasn't projected to go that
Yeah,
high.
he wasn't. So I'm like, oh, well.
Imagine Steph on the Knicks. That'd be crazy.
So I'm like, oh shit, like, he's right. I'm going 29. Like,
Right.
They wanted a combo guard. Like, I'm the next best thing after Steph Curry when it comes to shooting and combo guard.
Yeah.
Draft comes, 9th pick, 10th pick, 11th pick, 12th pick, 13th pick. My phone rings. It's the Knicks. So I'm like, oh shit, they about to like, yo, Jack, like, yo, what's good? You coming up? So I answer the phone. I'm like, yo. He like, yo, what's up, Jack? How you doing, man? Drafted, you feeling good? I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, something don't sound right, bro. Like, he like, you supposed to be like, yo, Jack, you about to get you.
Yeah. What number you want? Like,
So he like, you know, we looked at your physical and your MRI. We noticed you had a wrist injury, and you never got surgery on it. It's like, it's healed, but you never got surgery. Like I'm like, yeah, like what you mean? He was like, we would have an internal talk. You know, last year we drafted Dino Gallinari, and he had back spasms, and he didn't play the whole year.
Right.
We don't want to like draft another player and him miss out the whole season. I mean, look, it could have been a cop out. But at the same time, you're not going to call me and tell me you're not going to take me at 29 if it wasn't something that you were going to do.
Yeah.
So they end up going a different direction, and they drafted Tony Douglas. Mind you, Tony Douglas was at Florida State. I played against Tony. I cooked his ass. No, don't get me wrong. Tony Douglas is a good-ass guard. He wasn't me, though.
Yeah.
At that combo guard, like shooter, sniper, that wasn't Tony Douglas. Tony Douglas is more of like a true point guard, defender. Could shoot it. He couldn't shoot it like me.
those were the dark days for the Knicks, man.
So they drafted Tony Douglas, bro. And I remember to this day, because in my mind, they were like, he told me that we're not going to draft him. Like, I'm still like, they may like still like call my name. 29 comes, they say, with the 29th pick, the New York Knicks select Tony Douglas from Florida State. And mind you, this is another part of the story I'm thinking about now, like Miami, Florida State. We never had good blood. Like, it's like, it's just small things. And now I'm thinking about like, damn, like they drafted a Florida State guy over a Miami guy that I was, you know, I played very well against him. I remember I punched the wall in my room, my old house. There's still the hole in the wall, and we plastered it up. But I remember I punched the wall, and I was just like devastated, bro. Because now, you know, back then you go second round, you know, your money's not guaranteed.
No, it's not.
These days you go 51 or whatever, you still going two-way, exhibit 10, you'll make some bread. Back then, if you're not top 30, you second round, you probably not gonna make no money.
Yeah.
So, you know, 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 34th, 35th. I'm like, God.
So now there's no calls. You're just waiting now.
I'm just waiting. Ain't nobody calling. 36, 37, 38. Pat Bev gets 39, 40. I'm like, God damn, 41,
Pat Bev.
42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. When you start getting to 48, bro, it's only 12 picks left. It's like, this shit dead. Like,
Yeah.
and then, bro, I remember the 49th pick, I got a call. It was the Spurs. I don't know who it was, or I don't know if it was my coach. Somebody called me and was like, yo, Jack, get ready. The Spurs are about to take you at 51. I had worked out with the Spurs twice. So I knew that they liked me a lot. And then go back to my story about the guy that I committed to Siena, Rob Jackson.
Yeah.
He was a scout for the Spurs too at the time. I don't know if that was
Yeah.
I'm sure he helped me out with it, right?
Right.
So the Spurs called me at 51, got drafted by the Spurs.
How'd you feel about that?
Bro,
Pop?
I mean, I literally I didn't even care about where I was picked. My dream came true. Like I got drafted to the NBA. Yeah. I remember when I got the call, I literally ran outside. I had on some lime green Air Max. I think I had underwear on and I ran outside, ran down the block, and ran back just yelling. Like I was just so ecstatic. Like I made it. Like I ain't gonna lie. At that point, like obviously I always wanted to make the NBA, but like I'm like, yo, I got drafted. I did you did what nobody else can say they really did. Like you have your name called in the NBA. Yeah. And at that moment, I believe when I didn't go first round and I went 51, something small in my DNA and my soul at my cellular level was like, I made it. I got drafted. Not saying that I wasn't going to work. I was going to continue to work hard, but I do feel like something switched when I didn't go first round.
Right.
Like I was still the same person, but something small changed. So I ended up going to San Antonio. Mind you, if you know anything about the Spurs, their model is draft you, tuck you away, put you in Europe, bring you back, tuck you away, take you to Europe, bring you back, let you develop. Like, it's like a farm system. That's what they wanted to do. That year they had drafted Nando De Colo, who's a big-time European point guard. And guess who else they drafted that year? Who got traded to them?
Who was on that?
Patty Mills.
Patty, yes.
Oh, okay,
He was
on the Spurs too. So it's like all these moments, like I'm talking about now, it's kind of weird to think about all these things that are happening, like experience that I had that are making my belief system be like, okay, I was right what I'm doing now or whatever. So Patty Mills was still like, I think he was playing in Australia or whatever, or something. Nando De Colo stayed in I think he was playing in France or something. They also drafted DeJuan Blair as well from Pitt. So they had four guys in the draft. So they're like, look, Jack, we draft you. We want you to go play in Europe. We have a farm system team. We'll send you to Europe to play, and then you come back next year. We still own your rights. So when a team drafts you in the second round, they want to keep you. They own your rights. They send you to a European team,
They're affiliated team.
They're affiliated team they have a relationship with. You play with that team, and then they bring you back for the next year to try to make the team. They had told me when they drafted me, like...
And mind you, this is during the dynasty.
Yeah, they had Tony Parker, Ginobili, Duncan, everybody was there. So it was like... They had Malik Harrison, they had Marcus Williams that was still, like... George Hill had just got drafted a year before. Like, it wasn't no spots, right?
Yeah.
So
this was dynasty.
When I got drafted, George Hill took me under his wing, because I was the only American guard that was there. So I was there the whole summer with him. He was playing summer league. It was me, George Hill, Malik Harrison. I went to Oregon, Stephen Lasme, and I think Ian Mahimi that played on the Wizards. He had a good career. That was a starting five for summer league. Like George Hill, took me under his wing big time. And George Hill's my guy, but I also think he took me under his wing to make sure that I wasn't gonna come in and try to get his spot. Obviously, if I got drafted the year before and I'm a rookie, I ain't got to let another guard come in that I know does something. His game is different than me. Right. George Hill was long, no body fat, out of control. Dope guard, great guy. Shout out George Hill, good guy, good friend. Shows love to me all the time. Buys my clothes. He's a cool guy, but obviously, bro, it's a business now. If somebody gets drafted, I'm a little bro you, Jack, and teach you the ropes. But
it's a business. You can take my spot.
Yeah, it's my spot maybe. So, summer league starts. This is the next step. Now, Jack, you're in the NBA summer league. You got drafted. Now you're going to Vegas and playing summer league. You're playing all the other draft guys and guys that are previously drafted. They didn't make a team that are doing the same thing the Spurs are doing. I go to summer league. The great thing about George Hill, he's a big guard. He's 6'3", 6'4". And my thing was I wasn't really a point guard. I was a combo. So any team that drafted me needed to have a big point guard so that the point guard could guard the shooting guard at 6'5". George Hill could guard a 6'5" shooting guard. And even though I'm not playing point guard, I could guard the point guard. That's 6 foot, 6'2", or whatever. So that was a dynamic. I go to summer league and I'm playing Miami Jack basketball. If I got an open three, I'm letting it fly. One swing and I'm open, I'm shooting it. But that's not how I should have been playing on the Spurs. I should have been playing make the extra pass.
Their
if you get an extra
systems,
sweet
right?
system.
Yeah.
But I was trying to play, turn down the ball screen, shoot the three, step back. Like I was just shot hunting because I wanted to show them like, yo, like I'm good. I can do this, and it didn't translate. So after the first couple games, I was out the starting lineup, and it was crazy because in summer league, they started bullying me. Like I had to guard a 6'4" guy. They just clear it out, mouse in the house, and they just post me
Damn.
up, and I couldn't do that. I was 6'1", bro, trying to guard a 6'4" dude. I don't even know who the dude is, but he I don't know who he is, but I can't guard him.
Yeah.
And like so, it had to sub me out more. So I was like, damn, like this shit ain't like this ain't paying out like I thought it would pan out. So I'll go back to San Antonio. We're still training and working out. I'm getting ready for training camp. But I started cooking again. Like I'm like, I've always been able to persevere. So like I'm dominating now.
Okay.
I'm dominating back because I had a bad summer league. I go back in the summer. You still working for training camp, and I'm dominant. Like I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Like coach is like, yo, man, like we didn't know you had like. So then that's when the call goes like, yo, Jack, we made a decision. We want to send you to Europe for a year. Okay. I think they had brought in Keith Bogans,